In this lesson, we'll cover the topic of importing and working with multimedia. So here I am in Trial Director, the Evidence module, and I'm working within the Multimedia Explorer. To add new multimedia, we're going to select the Add Item button, which is the green plus symbol. We're going to browse out to the media we want to bring in. I've already brought in shortwave radio conversation. You'll see that here. That is an audio file. We're going to bring in the train station video here, the MPG. And I'm going to select Open. Now, while that buffers in, you'll see that there's a little yellow dot on top of the little video kind of reel icon here. That means it's processing into the system. It's making a duplicate and getting it into the database. Shortwave radio doesn't have a dot. That means it's already processed in. So you're not going to be looking for a green dot. You're just going to be looking for no dot at all. The larger the file size, maybe the higher the quality of the video, it may take longer. Train station is now available for us to use, so we're going to double click here. I'm going to open up our multimedia player so we have a little bit more space. We can see what's going on here. We see that our video automatically started. I'm going to select pause. Again, you can push play. We have seek to the beginning, seek to the end. If we wanted to turn up the audio a little bit higher on the video itself and not necessarily on our speakers, we could change that audio here. We can turn on or off that timestamp located in the bottom right-hand corner. And then we also have playback speed. So 1 being normal playback speed, 0.5, so a little bit slower, 1.5, a little bit faster, or we have 2.0, so double the quickness or speed of that video playing back. Now I can push play, I can drag or click this dot anywhere to play at any certain time in the video. Now what happens if I have a surveillance video or a long video that I only want to play snippets of? I only want to play sections of. Maybe somebody only fell and got hurt at a particular point. So I want to show, some people walking past it, the incident, maybe them helping her, and then it be done. I don't need to show all 13 hours or all 24 hours. We can do clipping here in Multimedia Player. So to get to that clip work area for multimedia, we're going to select this drop down. This is where we can add our new clip, save our new clip, give it a new name, and those punch in and punch out times. So I'm going to call this TSC01. So train station, TSC for clip 01. It's my first clip. Now, to start my punch in and out times, I can seek to the beginning, move it wherever I want, be playing, and set my start time. I can skip somewhere, be playing, pause it, set my end time. I can be anywhere on there. Like I said, we can click, we can drag, we can be watching it, hit set start, hit set end when we get to those times. We can do some fine tuning here as well with these radials, but first I'm going to save it and then do the fine tuning after I save. So I'm going to select save. And now as a drop down or expansion under train station, we have that TSC01. If I open TSC01, it plays my clip. Now, what if it didn't quite exactly start out where I wanted it to? I need a little bit more or a little bit less. We can use these radials. They are connected. So think about if you go down to 30, it'll turn to 39. They're connected that way. You can't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then restart at 0, not affecting the others. To change these radials, to do that fine tuning, if you click with your right click, the time goes up. If you click with your left click, the time goes down. And you'll notice when we went to that 39, it then switched to 40. If we go past 30, it goes to 29. So just be mindful, all of these are connected. So when you go up or down, the others might move depending on if you pass that 0 or that 9. Once you get that perfect start time, you're exactly where you need to be, hit save. Don't hit set start again or set end. That's going to change where that clip starts and ends. You'll have to do it over again. So again, once you find that fine tuning, then hit save. Don't hit that set start or set end if you're using those radials. I'm going to make another clip. So I'm going to go back to the main video for train station. I'm going to select it, make sure it's open here in the multimedia player, and then make a new clip. So we're going to call it TSC02. I'm going to say it starts here and ends here. We'll pretend we fine-tuned it, and we're going to hit save. So now we have TSCO1 and TSCO2. We've made our clips things that we can present to judge and jury. So if I wanted to play the entire video in presentation screen, I would type in train, space station, enter into presentation. If I wanted another alias, I can right click, go to properties, give it an exhibit number, give it a trial exhibit number, give it a common name. I can give it a description, but remember, descriptions cannot be used in presentation. So we have train station. We can name this to exhibit 452 if that's the way we brought it in. Exhibit number, we could put the 452. We can give it different aliases, and we can do that to our clips as well. So if we right click properties, we can give our clips alias in different ways to pull it up as well. What are my other options for my right click menu? So play multimedia, right? Just play like a double click. Send items to workbook. We can send the entire video to a workbook or our clips. We can remove our clip, delete it, change those properties. We can also export the media clip. So we can do this in two ways. We can export one by one, so just select it, right click, export, or we can group select. So I'm going to select both 1 and 2, right click, export multimedia clip. Choose the location in which I want it to save. Then we have the option to either save them individually as their own separate MP4 files, right? They'd save as TSCO1 and TSCO2.mpeg4, or we can concatenate into a single output file. So it's going to make one MP4 file. TSCO1 is going to play first, and then directly right after it, TSCO1 is going to play right after it, one file. This section right here, we cannot edit. I cannot change the order in here. However, if I select TSCO1 first, and then TSCO2 first, and then TSCO1, and then export multimedia clip, it's going to be in that order. So the order in which you highlight, the order in which you shift click or control click, is going to be the order in which it will export if you do the concatenate single output file. Now we can change those names of that output file if we don't want it to be the same that's in our evidence trial director database. The export options, we have MPEG-4, we have trial director for iPad, we have trial director for iPad high or standard, and then an MP3. So if it's audio, export to an MP3. If it's a video, export to MPEG-4. If it is something with a fluctuating bit rate, so if you have a video that came from Zoom or Teams that you are editing, because it's going over the World Wide Web, right? It's going over the internet. It's going to have a fluctuating bandwidth rate, a fluctuating bit rate to display the video. When we export at an MPEG-4, sometimes that fluctuating bit rate, because it's such a low resolution video, it can make the video look hard to see. It can be a little bit grainy, it can be a little bit fuzzy. If that is the case, export trial director for iPad high resolution. That will freeze the bitrate and not allow it to fluctuate when it exports. It's non-fluctuating bitrate file, so you won't get the fuzziness. Now, I have used this multiple times where I've recorded via Zoom, come in here and edited, and then needed to export out. I've exported as an MPEG-4, and I've exported as both trial director versions. High resolution trial director works best for Zoom meetings or team meetings or any kind of video that you took over the internet. Phones, typically really good with the MPEG-4. Obviously, deposition, videotape depositions, typically really good with MPEG-4. It's just those ones, maybe if you did a deposition via Zoom, it might need to be changed into that trial director for iPad when you export it. So just be mindful there. If we were exporting a videotape deposition, we'd have the options to include captions or transitions. This is just a multimedia file. We don't have to worry about that. We'd hit export. And that is importing and working with multimedia. Thank you so much for attending.